It's gonna work this time. 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 This time, it's gonna work. It's gonna work this time. Yeah! Alright, good job team, we got one. A flare gun, also known as a flare pistol or a signal pistol, is a large bore handgun that discharges blanks, flare... This is the wrong wiki again! God damn! The flare gun is a secondary weapon for the PYRO. It is an alternate weapon to the shotgun, which is a very reliable secondary that complements PYRO's short-range playstyle extremely nicely. So the flare gun better offer me something really good if it wants me to swap off of the old reliable shotgun. It can't be that good, right? The flare gun is the oldest of the flare trio, and from what I've seen, probably the least popular due to the majority of the PYRO population I've ever seen being detonator build. And because of this, I feel the need to share it with you, the power of the flare gun. Oh, and I won't even mention the because I consider it a slur. As previously stated, the flare gun is a secondary weapon, but what does it actually do? It trades out the reliable close-up damage of the shotgun for a more combo-oriented, flashier playstyle. Hitting an enemy with the flare gun deals 30 damage, but if you hit an enemy who is on fire, you deal a whopping 90 damage. That's it, that's the whole weapon. Now you might be wondering, how is that effective? Doesn't the shotgun already do 90 damage? Shut up. PYRO is very good at creating space, as the effective range of the flamethrower is limited, but being inside of its range is very bad for your health. But, once an enemy leaves your effective range, there's very little you can do about it. The flare gun's reach allows for something I like to call, "Get back here right this instant, young man, we are not done having this conversation, don't you dare slam that door!" The flare gun excels in large burst damage that complements the majority of flamethrowers. And sure, the shotgun does also cover this weakness, but it can't hit shots as consistently due to its random bullet spread. However, due to the flare gun's projectile-based nature, it is way more consistent. Okay, so the flares are kind of hard to hit if you aren't used to them, and if you, like me, are stupid and hate thinking more than put mouse over enemy, click mouse, win, this sounds bad. But trust me, if you use this thing enough and you start to get a feel for it, you can start to hit people consistently. You gotta believe me. It works! It's not just long distances that the flare gun excels at. You can also get away with firing at very close range, way more often than you would think. Since the PYRO excels at creating space due to how the flamethrower makes an opponent think with their feeble ape brain. Oh good heavens, that is fire. I should run away from this enemy gamer since their main form of dealing damage will be based on me being close to them. The most direct path away from them must be the correct path, and I shall move in a completely straight line towards safety. And then you shoot it where they're going to be. That's it, that's how a projectile works. Once you get a feel for how fast the flare moves and how fast an opponent can move, all you need to do is look at where the opponent is going to be moving, and then shoot along that path, and then boom! You get it. It's a really fun and effective weapon. Despite being a primarily distance effective weapon, occasionally the flare gun can put in more closer ranges, as 90 damage is nothing to scoff at. The community has notated this style using the flare gun as puff and sting, where first you puff, and then you sting. This takes a little bit of getting used to. A lot like the flare gun in general, but once you get it down and know when and where to puff and when to sting, you're going to be having a great time. And I'm sure the enemy is going to be having a great time too. Right, let me check my notes here. Shotgun is good at close range. I am stalling for time. And it says to subscribe, so be sure to do that. Oh, and I have some clips to demonstrate some stuff. That's cool. In this clip, we need to push up on that point right there, so I hop down here, cause some havoc, got this engineer and soldier. Me and this scout managed to 2v1 this heavy through the bleed and burn combo, which I'm sure is a lovely way to die. And we take this point through teamwork and the sick-ass power of the flare gun. But mostly the flare. This weapon isn't without downsides, however, as you give up access to bullet damage for more fire damage. This forfeits perhaps your most reliable way of dealing with pyros, and due to pyro resisting afterburn, that really neuters the potential damage you can do to them. You also lose the reliable burst damage that you can use to peek and shoot at nearby sentry guns. Another downside of the flare gun when compared to the shotgun is the 1-round clip as opposed to the shotgun's comparatively generous 6. The shotgun is a lot more leniency in the mistakes you're allowed to make in comparison to the flare gun's do-or-die 1-shot clip. The flare gun's relatively slow-moving projectile can also be thrown off by unpredictable movement, Or just any movement? Or just me missing? God damn it. It's not all doom and gloom, however. It has 30 damage. At long range, is 30 damage. Which when compared to the shotgun, is way more than it can do beyond spitting distance. And the flare gun excels at dealing the majority of its damage at range, which makes me feel like a cowboy. Now you may be wondering, what primaries should be run with the flare gun? Well, in the majority of these clips, personally I've leaned towards the stock flamethrower the most. The stock flamethrower's ammo efficiency is very useful when combined with the flare gun, due to having a less reliable secondary at your disposal whenever you inevitably panic air blast 50,000 times and lose all of your ammunition. I've personally leaned towards the stock flamethrower the most, is due to having a less reliable secondary to put out damage if I run out of ammo. I found it useful to have the primary with the lowest air blast cost. The degreaser is also a very valid choice, as this faster switch speed of the flare gun is a classic choice for combo pyros. However, personally, I felt like the air blast cost caught me out more times than it didn't, and strayed away from it. The Dragon's Fury is essentially the flare gun if it were turned into a primary weapon. It works very similar by doing big damage to a burning target. Fury has better range than the other flamethrowers, but not really to the point where it becomes worth it to attempt to hit your target with the flare gun. That's why bother when you can just follow it up with a second shot from the Dragon's Fury. The Flog sends you directly to hell, so I didn't use it. The Backburner is a fine choice if you want to crit max, but really, you can't air blast, and the higher air blast cost really hampers your ammo usage and will leave you with your dinky little flare gun way more than you would like if you aren't smart about it. Now, in terms of what melee weapons help to alleviate the weaknesses of the flare gun, kinda, a little bit, it definitely isn't just an excuse for me to talk about my favorite pyro in this video. The Home Wrecker deals extra damage to buildings, which is situationally useful and helps to alleviate the lack of clean burst damage against buildings at close range, if you have the stones to hit a gun turret with a sledgehammer. Also, it counters spies, and as an engineer player, I really fucking hate spies. So I vacation as pyro sometimes to enjoy making their lives hell instead of them making my life hell. It's always a good time to be shared when you find a spy out of position. So, in conclusion, the flare gun is by no means a direct upgrade to the stock shotgun. But it shouldn't be. The flare gun excels in areas where the shotgun falls short, but in a couple of key downsides stop it from being the most dominant secondary. And it's very well balanced and well designed like a good weapon should be. I hope I have convinced you that the flare gun is the best weapon in the game. No other fucking... except no substitute! Medic, I have a plan. Do you also see my plan? Is it a good plan? We're gonna do it anyway, let's go. Okay, we're gonna chill here. We're gonna chill here. I lied. We're going in. Go. Okay, that's 2 guys. That was totally worth it. 3 guys. You wanna hear 4 guys? 4 guys going once, going twice. 4 guys. Guy 4. Amazing. Guy 5. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who's gonna stop him? Who's gonna stop him? He's the god. He's the goat. How does he do it? How does he do it? How does he do it? He's the best. So fair. So fair. Dare I say it, the flare gun makes pyro take skill? A skill-based unlock in the Pyro's kit. I must contact my superiors about this post-haste. Since the pyro excels at creating space due to how the flamethrower makes an opponent think that with their febrile... Subscribe! I'm right there! Please!